Like in Florida,
Yeah.
Everything, when we went to Florida, everything just burns you. Just everything.
Yeah,
I remember getting in the car one time, and I got in, I sat down, and I like leant back, and I reached to go and get my seatbelt. I just touched the metal, and I was like, ah!
Yeah. Okay.
And then like turned around and like touched the metal, and I was like, ah! 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 And it was like, everything I was touching was just burning me. I was like, oh my... It was bad.
It is ridiculous.
You have to wind the windows down and just sit there for about 5 minutes while all the heat just escapes.
Yeah, but the only problem with that is that the air outside is so hot that you just open the window and then hot air comes in and you're just like, oh, this is
a bad idea. Oh, that's great.
Das ist great. Should we start the video?
We should.
Or the actual speaking about games now. I think that was a fair intro.
I like that intro.
Yeah, it was good. Maybe we should just do it with me and you more often.
Yeah, maybe we should.
As you can tell, it is just me and Harry here today.
We have more fun on our own.
Yeah, we do, yeah. We don't need anyone else here. The only person who plays on the Xbox is not here, which is great.
Yeah.
Dan's not here because he's having an anniversary.
Oh, yeah, it's his anniversary. Bless him.
Mark's never here, so... In fact, has Mark done a video
Mark hasn't actually done a video.
Okay, well, I've just introduced Mark like 3 weeks before Mark is going to be in any of our videos.
He's never been in a video. He's already put him in one.
This week, though, we're going to do something a tiny bit different. Like we did last week, there isn't that many... Well, there's no big releases this week anyway. So we'll go straight into it with I think we'll start... Should we start with Rare Replay?
Yeah, we better start with that one.
Rare Replay. We'll do Rare Replays. This is a game that has come out. It's a compilation game of like 30 years since Rare Replay formed in 1985.
That's a long time. That's a lot of games.
That is a lot of games. But there's 120 games they went to choose from, and they had to narrow it down to the 30 that they thought deserved a place in this compilation game series. And it excludes GoldenEye, which I thought...
Really?
Yeah, I thought...
That's like
that's a big game. That is big FPS.
That's like one of the most iconic games of like all time.
It must be a fairly early FPS, if not one of the first, definitely, because it was before. Because they brought out another game. I can't quite remember the name of it, actually. I do have it written down, and I'm going to cheat here and find it out. Which I think it was Perfect Dark, which was a first-person shooter as well.
Right.
And that was in 2000, but I'm pretty sure GoldenEye was before that.
I'd be with... Yeah, GoldenEye was before that.
Definitely before that, wasn't it? So,
yeah, definitely.
So that's not in it, which is a little bit disappointing. But other than that, there is 30 pretty decent games here. I haven't played a lot, mainly because I don't have an Xbox, and a lot of the games that are in this list are a bit before our time. But anyway, a little bit.
Started off in like the 80s, didn't it? When the first couple of games were like
83. So it's actually been 30 years. So obviously that's since 1985. But the first few games in it are from 1983 in it. So there's like this again, Jetpac and Lunar Jetman, Attic, Saberwolf, Underworld, Night Law. They're all before 1985, and that's because the people who developed it, Tim and Chris Stamper, the two brothers who basically started out just developing these games on their own, and then they made rare games, and I think they joined with someone else and did it 2 years later in 1985. So obviously that's why there is some games from 1980 through in it. The thing about this game is obviously it's, as I said before, it's a bit before our time. So like, it's gonna be hard for me to say, you know, oh, it's so good seeing like gunfight and slalom in the game.
I really missed playing those games.
Oh, I really missed playing slalom in 1985. It's 10 years before I was born.
Yeah.
So obviously I don't get that nostalgia that a lot of people probably would get.
But I have heard people who played those games and now they play them now are like, whoa, nostalgia time.
Yeah, so nostalgic. And to be honest, like, although a lot of them were like really big at the time, and I think it was like Gunfight and that. I think Jetpac and Lunar Jetman, I think they were pretty big when they came around in the early 80s. But other than that, some of the games when they were released originally weren't like the best games at the time. But it was more the games in the 90s and obviously the 21st century where they started coming into their own with some really great games.
So these games, are they are they all like little indie games, or are they like?
Well, no, obviously, I wouldn't say they are indie games, but they're not like, you never. There's no games here, especially the more recent ones, that you'd get like a full blown disc release for.
Yeah.
Like there's none like that. They're all kind of like. They're like fun, cutesy games.
They're like mini games, loads of little mini games.
Yeah. I wouldn't say an indie game because that I don't think Rare. They're not really an indie developer. It's like so an independent developers and like especially when Viva Pinata came out. I played Viva. That's one of the few games actually from Rare that I actually played with Viva Pinata, and. It's such a good game. It's like Animal Crossing, but at the same time, it's got like that early mobile app kind of feel to it as well, which is pretty cool. So, on to the actual Rare replay itself, rather than the games in it. I do like how the kind of like the menu set up and things. So you start off and it's just like this, like you're outside this theatre, and you go in and it's got like the selection of all the games, but. It's just so like the way that all the characters are in the theatre, like all the characters are in shot and things. It's just like kind of like it looks really cool.
Yeah,
like,
it sounds really cool.
Yeah, and I think that's what I like a lot about this game is kind of like you see like a character. You like with I can't remember his name, Banjo-Kazooie. Like when you see him in the top left, and you're like, oh my god, what a great game! Like I remember playing that, and then you see obviously Viva Pinata, and then you go back and there's still like jetpacks in the corners, like they're all together, and I really like that about the game. I also like all the little extras, like they've got in it a section which is like all the soundtracks for the games, but ones that were never actually published.
Oh right.
So it's like all the soundtracks that they like wrote for it, and then thought, well, we're not going to put this in, but they've got them like all list of like loads and loads of different soundtracks that were never actually put in the game. Which I think is also pretty cool as well.
It sounds really fleshed out. It sounds like they've put a lot of extra stuff in there.
That's what I like. I think rather than it just being like, just like, you could say it's not a new release because they're only like, it's just like, they're just flushing out all their old games. They're just putting into one game, like a compilation genre. That's what it kind of is.
Okay.
But they've kind of made it a bit of its own game by kind of...
With the whole theatre.
Yeah, the whole thing, like the whole like, like that, like... The way it is so like it's not just we've taken this port and this port, we're just going to put it in the game and you just select it and you play it.
I mean, have they updated the graphics and the audio and stuff like that?
From the looks of things, especially like the Viva Pinata and stuff like that, you can tell from those games that the graphics look maybe a little bit better, but to be honest with you, I think they're still pretty similar, especially the early games. They still look really retro and things, but they don't look too old fashioned. They don't look. You don't look at it and like you're not like you don't look at it and think, oh, those are so outdated. I could never play that, because they're kind of retro and it just looks really good with the game to see the development of the graphics as well. And that's what they picked from the 30 games. They didn't pick the 30 best games. They thought they picked the 30 games that best represented, like the evolution of the rare games.
So it's not like a remastered collection.
No, not really. I wouldn't say that anyway. From what I've seen, I mean, maybe the graphics have been boosted up a little bit. From what I've seen, I don't know. I think they look pretty similar.
It's more like a nostalgia pack for the sake of a nostalgia pack.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so that's basically everything with the game. It's £30 as well, so 30 years, 30 games, £30, which I think is a really good price for this game. It's definitely worth the money. And I can imagine, a few years if the price comes down as well, that's definitely worth getting, because you always got the nostalgia with it, don't you?
I'm not being funny, but like £30 for 30 games, that's £1 a day.
Exactly,
you can't get much better than that, really, can you?
I know, like you buy these individually. I think the more recent games definitely are like £2 or £3 on their own now, and then I think even the retro games are still like £1 to £2. So if you like bought them all separately, you'd be paying like 90 to 100 quid for them. So that's pretty good. Other than that, they've got all the games on it have all the downloadable content with it. So yeah, like it's pretty much just it's a complete game that I think it looks really good. And if especially if you used to play them as a kid, then 100% definitely recommend this game.
Okay,
nice one. So should we move on to your game? We've been looking at a couple of other games that have come out this week. We were originally just going to do that, but we've looked at 2 kind of indie games.
Well, yeah, it seems like a lot of games have come out on the 4th of August.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah,
really strange.
It's really strange.
Like we looked, there was about 6 games that all came out on the 4th of August.
All for the PlayStation 4 as well, which was pretty weird.
Okay, so the game that I've been looking at is called Submerged. It's by Uppercut Games, but to be honest with you, they're really more known for their app games for phones and stuff. Cool. This is actually the first game that they've made for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So yeah, they're used to making app games. So the graphics in this game, they're not amazing. They're decent. They look a little bit like sort of Telltale Games series.
Oh yeah,
Walking Dead Telltale Games. It's a bit like that. Like it seems like they're focusing more on the adventure exploration part of the game more than the actual graphical part of the game. But I mean, really, like I said, what can you expect from somebody that, like, this is their first game on a console?
Yeah.
But yeah, the background of the game is you play as this girl called Miko, and you're in this kind of like post-apocalyptic flooded world, and you're in this city which has kind of been like reclaimed by nature. It reminded me a little bit of The Last of Us, the way sort of that city's been retaken by nature. It's kind of just moved back in, basically, but with a lot more water. Obviously, it's like flooded. So yeah, you play as this girl called Miko, and you start off the game and her brother's injured, and you're going through the game trying to heal him, but it doesn't really... You start off and you actually don't see what happens to the brother, and you have to find out the story and what happened to him by going through and getting these collectibles, and they tell you the story. Now, I have a couple of things that sort of irk me about this. I mean, I take issue with a game that puts the entire storytelling on collectibles, on things that you have to go out of your way to look for. I mean, I'm the type of person, I'm a completionist. Every single room I go into, I have to search every sub-room, every closet. I have to search every shelf. I have to do
from ESO.
Yeah, from ESO. I have to do it. I have major OCD with that. But I know that not everybody is like that. Not everybody has the time or the energy or the inkling to just search every single room, every single nook and cranny. And if they miss something, they're missing out on like a massive part of the story.
Yeah, that's true.
And for me, I don't want to play a game and finish it and be like, oh, that story was really amazing, and then start talking to somebody else about it, and they're like, oh, what do you mean about story? I never found any story. Like, I thought the story was awful, and it's almost like you feel like half the people that have bought the game have missed out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I mean, like, I get that with Destiny. In Destiny, you collect these like ghosts and things.
Yeah.
And basically, from these ghosts and all these different things, you collect these things that you can go online. I can't remember what they're called now. My mind has gone blank. Whatever it is, you collect these things and you go online. It tells you a bit more about the story.
Right.
Now that's great and all. For people who do that, I can imagine you'd probably try and collect all that stuff, trying to find a bit more about the backstory.
Yeah.
And to be honest, if the story was a little bit more, so say if I found them and it told me straight away on the PS4, say if like it came up with like a long letter that told me like a little bit about the story, that'd be fine. It's the fact that they've done it where you find this, you got to go online, Glimmer, that's it. So you got to collect this Glimmer.
Okay.
And it tells you about Glimmer might be the currency. I don't care, right? Okay, I'm so wrong right now. But anyway, so you find out all this stuff, and I can imagine with that, it's just kind of. I can imagine with that, at least I would be interested in it, because there's nothing. By the looks of things, there's nothing really better to do than kind of find out about the story.
I mean, it is an exploration game. You are going. That is the whole point of the game.
Exactly.
You're going around exploring.
Yeah.
But I like collectibles. There's nothing wrong with having collectibles. It's great to have little things that reward you for exploring places. There's nice to have rewards for going and doing that stuff.
Yeah.
But the reward shouldn't be the story. Like, the story should be a given, that you should just receive the story.
I get.
You shouldn't have to work to get the story. It should just be given to you, and then if you want to go and find these little nooks and crannies and get these little rewards, then that should be an optional extra. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
But that's just my opinion. I mean, there are other things. During the story, you're being followed by these kind of weird, like, mutated tribesmen.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of that.
But apparently, I've seen a couple of reviews, and apparently, even though this story there is a story to it. Apparently, it leaves a lot of unanswered questions.
Yeah,
which makes me think, this is what I mean. Have people missed part of the story, or is the story just complicated because the story is actually told through pictures?
Yeah,
there's hardly any. I think throughout the whole game, I think there's about 10 lines of dialogue.
Oh, right.
And it's all in a different, like a made up language, which has got subtitles to it. It's really weird. But yeah, I don't know whether the story's told badly or whether people just not really understanding all these pictures that the story is told.
Yeah, well, maybe it's trying to be. I can kind of like, I can kind of think that it's what they've done is made a game that they kind of want to make it a little bit cryptic, so people kind of have their own interpretation on the story. From what I've seen, anyway, is like maybe they want people to have some questions about the game. Maybe they want people to question it. Yeah. Because I guess that means that people will talk about it and people will have their own opinions on it. And in a way, you can kind of create your own ideas of the story. You know, it's like a book. Like when you read it, sometimes. I know what you mean. Sometimes you have a different image. You always have a different image in your head as maybe someone else does. So maybe that's what they're kind of trying to do with it.
It sounds like I am kind of nitpicking with this a little bit. I mean, as a whole, this is a good game. It's a well-made game. There's no difficulty with gameplay or anything like that. It's it seems like a fun game, even though the graphics probably look like something from 2005. They're not atrocious. They're still good graphics.
Yeah. This is an indie developer as well. They make apps.
But yeah, it seems like it's quite fun, bit of an exploration game. It's not very long, so it's not like a massive release, but it's something fun, you know what I mean? It's just a little exploration, like a fun game, and it looks well made. Looks like the mechanics work really well. So it seems like a good overall whole game.
Oh, nice. How much? Do you know how much it is?
I actually don't. That was the one thing that I forgot to look at.
We'll put it in the description.
It's probably in the PlayStation Store for about. I would, from looking at it, I would think it's probably about £10.
£10,
something like that. Probably.
Something like that.
Don't take my word on it.
You heard it here first. £10.
No, you didn't.
Okay, I think we'll just I won't talk too long on the last game that we will be doing today, which is Galak-Z or GalakZ, the Dimensional, which is it's made by a developer called 17-Bit, who they develop indie games. It's actually a guy called Jake Kasdal, who was formerly a developer for Sega Japan.
Oh wow!
And he kind of went on to do his own. He wanted to kind of create this some games that were like 16-bit games, but more modern. Okay. So more modern take on 16-bit games. And they did that Schools of Shogun, which that got quite good.
Okay.
I never played it. I heard it, and we got a lot of positive reviews. I think Metacritic gave it some like 85% or something.
Okay.
So they have already made a pretty good game, and they kept this under wraps until a week ago or something. They didn't tell anybody about this game, Galak-Z, until last week, and they didn't want to release too much about it because they kind of wanted to just keep it a little bit of a secret.
Okay.
So anyway, it's kind of like this retro sci-fi shooter, which has like some roguelike elements to it, but each level is generated. I was trying to say generated.
Randomly generated.
Yeah. I was like, generated? Generated? I was trying to remember how to say that.
We're having difficulty with words today, folks.
Yeah, we are. I'm still very ill, actually. So,
but we're both very ill. We've been away the weekend.
I know. Ooh. But anyway, it's got. So every time you play the game, play each level. In fact, it's like a different kind of scenario happens. So like you get a constant spawn of enemies, and enemies can spawn from different directions, and like you can go into a place and the really good thing about this game is that the AIs will attack each other. So like you never played Halo, did you? And no. Destiny as well. So you'll get two enemies from different kind of factions that will fight each other.
All right.
And you get this in Far Cry. You know how you've obviously got the rebels. Yeah. So you've got them two fighting. That's kind of what it's like. And
right. Okay.
So what people have said about this and what the developers have said about this is it's kind of like a modern take on Halo and Far Cry 3, but from a retro perspective.
Like
so
2D in space.
Yeah, in space perspective, which I think, to be honest, you looked at it as well, didn't you? And
it's like Transformers in space almost. It's like this ship transformed into a mech.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
It looks really cool.
It looks actually really, really good. I really like the look of it, to be honest with you. But you get each level, you get enemies that attack you and attack each other, but you've obviously got something that you need to do per level. Most of the time it will be something like collect a certain number of supply crates, or it'll be to save someone's I think one of the missions is someone's escape pod gets lost in space or gets captured, and you've got to go recapture it and bring it back. So it's just like kind of like basic things like that.
Would it be too retro to have to save Princess Peach? Is that too retro?
That's literally what the game is. It's Mario in space. It's literally
it's brilliant.
It is good. I really like it. I really like the 80s style anime cutscenes they have as well. I don't know if you saw them. They're really, really good. Like I just like you're watching. It's like watching a cartoon from your childhood as well.
Yeah,
which is really cool. And I like the voice acting in it as well. I think it's really, really good.
It's weird when I was watching it. It's like I'm watching this game and I'm watching all these animations and stuff, and I'm thinking, wow, this is really colourful. Like, how have they done a colourful space game?
Yeah,
and that's really difficult to do. Like, space is just black and white, basically. Like,
exactly.
But they've made it really colourful. I was like, wow, it just looks like a really fun, colourful game.
Yeah,
it looks like it's fresh almost. Like, I kind of want to try that game out. Actually.
I do as well, and I was just about to say the price, and then I realised that I also don't know the price for this one.
Oh God!
Which is again really annoying. I can't for the life of me think how much it was. I did look at it. I'm going to guess £6, £7, £8.
Right. Well, you looked at it, so you're one step ahead of me.
Yeah. I could have did something completely different.
I looked at that. I mean, I looked at the name of the game, and I was like, Galak-Z. Galak-Z. I was like, is this like a sequel to War Z? It's like zombies in space. I was like, this is my kind of thing. I like this.
Yeah. So I mean, as I said, we don't. I think we're kind of running out of time now. But other things you can do in the game is like you've got like upgrades in the game. We go and upgrade. I'm not sure if you can upgrade your ship, but you can certainly upgrade your weapons and stuff like that, which is pretty cool.
Sweet.
But yeah, as I said, I think we have run out of time. I think so.
It's just like little fun games this week. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I think we'll probably do a couple more of these games next week.
I like looking at these games, to be honest.
I mean, I was really surprised when I looked up and I was like, there were like 6 games August 4th. So I was like, is this something going on August the 4th that I've missed out on? Like, what?
They were like 2 months ahead of May the 4th.
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy. But yeah, just a little couple of fun little games for you this week. Nothing really major, but we like to have a bit of fun here.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, we've been the trade. Oh my God, I can't get.
What is up with you with words? Okay, guys, right.
See you later.
We've been traded detectives, and this is the weekly wrap up with me, Harry, and
me, George.
Oh, you got it right!
Yay!
Bye, guys.
See you later.